This is the first time this year that I'm not wearing black in a video. As I was scrolling through all the content I've made so far in 2022, I noticed I was like fashionista doom and gloom over here, and this is a spring TBR, so I dusted off the color. We need to get this over with as soon as possible. That's right, it's seasonal TBR time, which means I'll be showing you all the books I would like to get to in the season of spring. Spring is pretty much here. Well, I live in Ohio, so it's like kind of making itself known with the peepers that keep me up at night. But it also snowed this morning, so she's a confusing mistress. We are coming up on the time of year where some of the most exciting books are releasing, and definitely my most highly anticipated, and that comes with a very apparent theme when it comes to the publisher for most of these books. It literally will not surprise you. As I mentioned in my winter TBR, I'm mostly sharing upcoming or books that have recently came out that I'll be prioritizing for these next few months, so you can get an idea on what reviews you can look forward to from me. Before we dive into these really exciting books, I have something else really exciting to show you, and that involves snacks. So I am a muncher of food while I read, like bowls of pretzels and chips all over my nightstand, so please don't judge me for all the crumbs I have in my bed. But I'm so happy to thank Boxu for sponsoring today's video. Boxu is a premium Japanese snack box subscription service that delivers original assortments of Japanese snacks and tea pairings, and what makes that even more unique is that this is the only Japanese snack box that partners with 100-year-old family snack makers to deliver Japan exclusive snacks to your door. Bonus is the box is shipped straight from Japan and there's free shipping to the US. You just can't beat that, and I think that makes it even more worth trying out at least once. And March's theme, which is the box I have here, is Sakura season. It is the cutest freaking packaging you'll ever see. This is Boxu's most anticipated collection of the entire year. It is packed with all sorts of limited edition cherry blossom themed snacks. It is seriously packed with goodies. I was shocked myself when I opened up the box to see how full it was, literally to the brim. So use my code HollyHearts10 to get 10% off, which saves you up to $47 for your own authentic Japanese subscription from Boxu. Do not miss out on this amazing snack journey through Japan. Okay, now that's over, I can finally eat all of this candy. Now there are a lot of books coming out in April that I want to read. My god, my April TBR is going to be enormous. So I'm saving most of those books for my April TBR video. So today I have only chosen 2 to share, and wow, that was hard to narrow down. Oh, before y'all come for me and you wonder where The Hunger of the Gods is, I'm currently reading it, so it's not on my TBR anymore. Review to come. So the first book is One Foot in the Fade. I can't even describe to you how excited I am to be back in this world. This is the 3rd book in the Fetch Phillips series. It's an urban adult fantasy following a human mercenary for hire in a city full of magical creatures, and it's just so unique and different compared to my normal reads that I seriously look forward to these books every year so much, and I hope they never end. I know that's asking for a lot, and Luke Arnold is a talented actor, but he should really just quit and solely focus his life on these. No harm in that, right? So we have a city that was once thriving with magic and a disaster occurred and now there isn't any. And when you have magical creatures that kind of need magic to survive, that's kind of a problem. Well, suddenly in this book in particular, I can kind of talk about the story because they are standalones, but no, they're not. Read them in order. Well, suddenly an angel falls from the sky with beautiful feathered wings, and it's apparent he used magic, and there's a mystery for this book in particular. Getting closer to the answers that I need. Next book is Kaiki. This cover, if I do a best covers of the year video, this would be on the top of that list, and I am so excited to see it on like a physical book. Wow, it is going to be stunning. And if there are even special editions of this, they are going to be insanely pretty. This is a debut, so we're really gonna hype this author up. It's a coming-of-age reimagining of Kaiki, who is the vilified queen of the Hindu epic Ramayana. It's in the same vein as Circe, Ariadne, The Witch's Heart, so you can kind of get an idea on the type of story it's going to be. I'm not too familiar with the original story, but I did watch a video on Orbit Books' YouTube channel where they interviewed the author and she was explaining what this book was about and like the mythology of it all. So it isn't following the courageous prince from the original mythology, but the evil stepmother instead, and it like gives her the voice, the microphone, so to speak. I am so excited to see the direction this new author takes, and even though this is out of my element, it's a priority read for sure. Book of Night. So as an adult reader, I cannot help but try out Holly Black's adult debut. I have read a few books from her in the past, so I kind of know what I'm getting into a little bit, but also it mentions it's a dark fantasy of shadowy thieves and secret societies. It sounds very similar to Ninth House, which is what it's being pitched as. Actually, it's being pitched as Ninth House and the Night Circus. The Night Circus is very romancy, so that kinda, I don't like it. So definitely a different type of story compared to The Cruel Prince. It sounds grungy and mysterious. It sounds more like a mystery novel the more I read the synopsis. It takes place in an alternative version of our own where some people can control their shadows. Currently, our main character is a con artist working as a bartender, and she's trying to keep a low profile to those working underground in what is known as shadow trading, but someone from her path resurfaces. I just love it when YA authors move to adult. We can get like deeper, grittier plot lines. Definitely more my wheelhouse. I'm excited to try this one out. Let me know if you'll be reading it. I'm sure a lot of you will be. The Stardust Thief. Oh man, the hype surrounding this one is real. I actually feel like it's way more hyped than Holly Black's book, which is saying a lot. I guess that kind of depends on what like book community circle you're in, but this is the first book in a new fantasy trilogy called The Sand Sea. It's another top read for me. I've been looking forward to this one ever since it was announced. It's a fresh new take on the stories from 1001 Nights. And we follow three distinctive characters: a midnight merchant, a legendary smuggler, and a cowardly prince. And they join together on a dangerous quest across the desert to find a legendary magical lamp. I love desert fantasies actually, and it can be a really refreshing place to be in after all the medieval like mud and brick environments. Really excited for this one, especially with the quest and traveling trope. Those are typically the books with the most adventure, and we'll see if this one takes the cake. The Ballad of Perilous Graves. Now, this one comes out literally on the first day of summer, June 21st, but I want to read it before then. It is sitting on my Kindle right now because I am so pumped for it. It sounds so fun and different. I mean, the cover is fun by itself, but wow, I love stuff like this. It's like, give me like grim, dark, bloody books, but also the bright, eccentric, imaginative books. Honestly, you have to read the synopsis yourself because it sounds like a Disney movie. This takes place in a fantastical version of New Orleans where music is magic. The city is called Nola, and it's the place where failed magician Perilous calls home, while there's a magical piano that keeps the city alive, and unfortunately the songs have escaped from it, and the city will fall apart. It will definitely lose its rhythm, so Perilous is joined with his sister to save the city. So original sounding. It almost sounds I just described to you a middle grade novel, but it's from Orbit, so it's adult, and I'm just so excited for this. I want to read it now. Okay, so I'm going to move on to some series I plan to finish before summer gets here, and the first one is Spirits of Vengeance. This is the third book in the Mortal Technique series, which I am making my way through. I plan to read Pawn's Gambit this month, which is book 2, so you should get a review from me on that in my March wrap-up. All the books can be read as standalones. They all follow new stories and their own set of characters. I recommend still starting with Never Die, the first book, which I loved so much. It's a new favorite. In fact, I just gushed about it in a recent video. So I'm excited that I get to experience more within this Asian-inspired fantasy world, to fall in love with even more characters, because that's truly what this author does best. He seriously puts Six of Crows to shame, because he writes groups of characters so well and their bond to one another is perfect. Now, this is the first book in the series where there is only one character on the cover, so maybe this one will be different. Oh, and also I believe this one is pretty long. Amazon and Goodreads marks it over 500 pages. Is that correct? I'm happy to hear that, honestly, if it is correct, because I wanted Never Die to be longer. Lastly, I just want to quickly mention I am finishing the Song of Shattered Sands series by reading When Jackals Storm the Walls, which I at least want to start before the month of March ends, and A Desert Torn Asunder. I am so excited to see how this series ends. I have been loving being in this world so much, but I am excited to pick up another completed series to binge, and hopefully it'll be just as good as these, because dang, the world the author has created here is bonkers. Alright, so I think it's going to do it for my spring TBR. I chose a couple books from each month of spring, which will still leave it open for me me for mood reading, because it really seems to be the case for me as of late. Tell me down below what books you plan to read in spring. And to go with all that reading you'll be doing, don't forget to check out Boxy, where you can use my code HollyHearts10 for 10% off your own box, which I highly recommend. Seriously, I am so impressed by the amount of candy, and it's so good. Like this video, it really helps me out. Subscribe because I upload videos every single week, sometimes twice a week. And until I meet again, happy reading.